I got called into a meeting where I am being I'm being investigated, let's say that, for having allowed my grandchild to use my device during COVID. And we're still in this pandemic, not as deeply as we were, but we are still overcoming and still trying to come up out of this pandemic. It wasn't even a month ago that I had COVID. Like, we're still dealing with this, right? In this investigation, this woman in leadership in HR tells me that, I asked her, well, what kind of infraction is associated with something like this? Because clearly I didn't realize I had violated any policies. I asked for a copy of this policy. I asked for evidence that I received this policy because I had never heard of it before. Districts like this, organizations like this that are extremely huge, find ways of burying policies and stuff like this, right? It's the Bible, right? They find ways of putting, a little policy like this in a page, right? And you're supposed to read all this and then just know that one little page, right, is for that policy. And so it could have very well been there, but out of all of this, these kind of policies, right? And I'm just using this as an example. Honey, I don't know how you expect me to know that little piece right there. And so to me, it really could have resulted in a conversation to say, hey, just to make sure you're aware, you're not supposed to be sharing your devices with anyone. And we got word that, one of your devices was being used by a student. We need you to get that device and not allow that, okay? Or if we need to provide a device for this child, then we'll do that, et cetera, right? So I won't get into specific details, but I will say that didn't happen. So while they're doing their investigation, I asked what the infraction perhaps is for something like this. When I asked her what were the potential consequences, she says, well, it's not the kind of charges that would constitute you losing your job. Otherwise, we would have asked you to turn in your badge and, whatever effects you have. But for now, we're allowing you to keep your job. Somewhat just like that, and definitely smiled, a very sarcastic, devilish kind of smile. We're allowing you to keep your job, she said. And I chuckled because clearly this woman has confused her position for power. She has confused her title for authority. And so in the kingdom of God, right, she has confused that. She's confused it with an assumption that my future is in her hands. That's what I thought was hilarious about that. I'm allowing you to keep your job. Honey, my future is in God's hands, not in that woman's, certainly not in that company's. Even if I was trying to do it all myself, and I use Jonah from the Bible as an example because Jonah was trying to do his own thing, and God still brought him full circle because it wasn't even in his hands. Like, our destiny is already written. We're trying to play catch up. We're trying to figure out what it is so we can fall in line, right? So we don't have to, have all that unnecessary pain attached to finding and fulfilling our purpose and our destiny, right? I didn't mean for this to be this long, but I wanted to help you understand that can't nobody control your destiny, and you can personally delay your destiny. But these people out here that have confused their titles with power over you, honey, she was confused. Okay, she probably still is confused, and that's okay. But I'm very clear. And this is just an example of why you got to handle your business. If the Spirit of God is on you, if you just know, like you know your last name, that you were destined for more, and that you have an entrepreneurial spirit, but perhaps you don't know what to do, or perhaps you know what to do, but you don't know how to get there. I encourage you to sign up for my Pain to Purpose Challenge. It is free for all of my VIP members who register by the end of this month. And the very first of next month, we are going to kickstart this challenge. And while I'm physically exhausted, I am excited because I'm on the cusp of something, which is another reason why I laughed when that woman told me that they were allowing me to keep my job. Because little did she know, I'm here because I want to be, not because you let me be. I'm here because God has me finishing what I started. And so, and in very, very soon and very soon. I have every intention of walking away because I decided to walk away, and because I've already given myself an exit date. See, that's what was funny is I had already I haven't just given myself an exit date. I have told people what my exit date is. Okay, her thinking that she's allowing me to keep my job. I keep coming back to that because I don't want you to ever be in a situation where somebody says that to you and it hurts you to your core because you don't have another option. See, when she said that to me, she could have let me go that day and I would have been just fine because I have already lined up 4 other businesses. You hear me? And I'm in the process of finishing 2 books. Okay, I have a nonprofit and that I founded, working really hard to fulfill my purpose in that walk. And I have so much more in store. Okay, I have made 100% in equity in my home. Oh, praise God. Okay, not this one, this hotel, but I'm saying this to say I have been following God's lead and things have been unfolding for me so that the exit date that I set in place is the exit date that I will be able to fulfill in walking out that door because I chose to. Not because somebody let me keep my job or told me I was terminated from my job, right? I don't ever want you to be in a position where somebody tells you that and you don't know what to do. Life was not meant to be that way. And so even if you aren't meant to be an entrepreneur, you are meant for greatness. Even if your greatness means helping somebody else fulfill their greatness, right? Because there is beauty behind that in partnerships and partnering with somebody and helping somebody see their vision in life, right? And that's part of my purpose is to help you figure out what yours is. Properly position yourself today so you don't have to worry about people like that tomorrow, okay? Because people like that sit around waiting because that's all they have. They haven't even figured out what their purpose is, okay? Which is why they get so caught up in them titles and thinking that they have power in that. That's saying that that particular person in that position, there been, since I've been in this district, there's been a handful of folks just rotating in and out of that position. That position means nothing, okay? It's a piece of paper. It means something on paper, but at the end of the day, God had a final say. Not that woman, not that company, not the district, not the board. And there is peace in that. That was done to remind me, don't get comfortable. And I've been working all along, but sometimes, you can get a little lax and sometimes you're not spending as many hours working on what you need to be working on. And it was just a little reminder that God is the only one in my life that's going to have a final say in how my life turns out. It won't be the enemy. It won't be this district. And I'm grateful for that. And I want to help you get to a place where you can be grateful for that. So if you are interested in figuring out what your purpose is, we are going to dig deep into that, starting with what caused you pain and how you came through that and how that's going to lead you to your purpose. And then if you hang in there with us a little bit longer, I'll teach you how to take that purpose and turn it into profit, okay? And I'm going to hold your hand through that process. And then there's so much more in store. So, take this first challenge with us. It is free. If you sign up for my VIP list before the end of this month. I'm sorry to have to ramble on y'all tonight. I hope that I bless somebody here tonight, and I want you to pray on it tonight. If you're not the praying kind, that's all right. Meditate, okay, what you need to do going forward. It ain't got to be signing up for my challenge, but you got to do something. If you don't have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, okay, and your plan B could be to revise your plan A and then go back to plan A, right? It don't have to mean you got to have a whole bunch of plans. And plan C could be if B don't work, then you go back to the drawing board again because something got to be broken. You got to be able to unpack that, right? Maybe get another set of eyes on the plan because maybe you're not seeing things clearly, right? That could be plan C. And then you go right back to the plan. But if you do that and get another set of eyes, then you got to be willing to listen because clearly you don't have all the answers if it ain't working, right? So then you go and fix that. And so on and so forth. You get my picture, right? So plan B and C don't have to be a brand new plan. We don't have to start over from scratch. And oftentimes we shouldn't. Sometimes we need to scrap the whole plan, but sometimes we just need to go back and fix it. But if you don't have a plan in place at all, then you need to be a part of my challenge. And I invite you to participate, okay? And even if you are watching this after the VIP list closes and you got to pay $47 and that's all I'm gonna charge you for, because I want to make sure that it's affordable for everybody, because there's not a person on this earth that should not know what their purpose is and be working towards fulfilling that. So that if somebody tell you what somebody recently told me, you could chuckle the same way I did and just continue to keep on working towards your purpose, because that's where your blessings lie. This is KWorthy reminding you that you too are worthy, and I want to see you all in the challenge.